Hello and welcome to another week of the support and clarity from Spirit for you. So yeah, I'd like to thank you for joining me this week. And I want to thank everyone for all the beautiful wishes of get well and things that they sent me, all the beautiful comments over the last period of the last 2 weeks, which I wasn't able to work through a little bit of illness there. But yeah, all back already and firing to get into it. So yeah, so we're doing this from the 18th of July to the 24th, from the Monday to a Sunday. So yeah, how I work is I call in my guides, or those in spirit who love me, ask them to come close to give you what you need for the upcoming week, any tips, techniques, and practices at all, as well as a bit of guidance and a bit of fun throughout the week. So, all right, we'll just get straight into it. Okay, so they're talking about, operating with your heart, with your head, and operating with, things that have occurred in the past. And sometimes we get a little bit stuck in going, oh, I've got to work from my heart a bit more. Oh, I'm too much in my head. Oh, this sort of thing, or this hasn't worked for me. But it's that thing too about what's working for you right now, in the now. And there's, the reason why we've got a brain, the reason why we've got a mind is because, they really have to work in conjunction with the heart. And having logic and structure and that sort of your mental capacity really works well with being heart-based. If you're too much to one side or the other, it gets a little bit loose in either way, or a little bit stringent, a little bit tight or structured as well. And it's that thing too about thinking about the past. It's always good to bring that influence in. They said not always, but to be mindful or be aware of that. Otherwise, you're just going to keep repeating the same mistakes. But it's also about not looking at things so much from where you were then, but looking at things from where you are now. And sometimes it's about sometimes thinking about a particular subject, and if your head's going and what about this, what about that, what about this, actually step back and ask yourself from, so you're looking at yourself from a third person, and then actually ask yourself and say, right, I'd like my higher self to channel through some information, some answers, to give me some more clarity around this. Asking Spirit as well, can you please help me to give me, the most beneficial thing that I can do within this situation or within this choice at this time. And it's that thing, just allow yourself to be in that space for a minute. You might want a pen and paper, they just said, and just jot down a couple of notes, couple of dot points, couple of things there. It could be, things that are actually very practical. And we forget to think about, practicality with Spirit. We think that, they, they forget that, we do work from a very logical framework as well. And anyone that has ever been to a good therapist, a therapist that works in a metaphysical way, knows that there's always a structure in the way that they're working, knows that there's always some logic in the way that they're working, and very grounded practicality as well. So they just said, this is in us and it is in you as well. But it's that thing about always draping it in a heart-based way, and just doing the best you can. Okay, so we'll get on to Monday now. Monday. I just said, okay, for Monday, forget about what you know and go with what is correct at that time. Just put everything aside. It's not saying throw it away. It's not saying what you know is not relevant, but it's just saying stick it in a bucket, stick it on the shelf till the end of the night or Tuesday morning. and then go with that. So they're saying it's about just allowing yourself to be in the moment a little bit more and allowing yourself to recognize what your needs are, what's happening at that time. So this is actually getting on to Tuesday, and they're talking about Tuesday about, it's that thing too about allowing yourself to have a bit of fun with this and to pull out, relevant information for you. So they're saying you might not take the whole bucket down and, bring that into you again, everything you have known, but they're saying what's relevant. It's also about feeling into that relevance. Does this feel correct for me? Does this make sense? Is this logical? Is this something that's going to uplift me and enhance my life at this time? Yeah, it's that thing about being practical, but also using your intuition at the same time. Was Tuesday, there's something, a little bit of stuff around work, but relationships, I don't mean romantic, across the board, which is going more into Wednesday, actually, around relationships. And I could feel with almost like it was a bit of a block that got brought down, and I don't mean that as in a bad way or anything like that, but it's almost like there's a block there about who are the people in your life, or when you're talking about yourself, do you block your magnificence? Do you block your expansion? Do you block block yourself in the way in which you could, really step into your magnificence in all possible ways? And it's that thing about just being a little bit mindful of that, because I feel like this could come with some relationships or and that sort of thing, or even when you're talking to a friend and it's like they point out the things that are just not working, or the shit that's not flowing, or that sort of thing, or do you remember that when you did that and yeah, it all turned really badly? It's like, well, are you really helping me here? Are you really helping support me in this situation? This going into Thursday. And Thursday is about just really recognizing when you're uplifted or you're not uplifted. It's not a bad or a good or a negative or positive or, sort of ego-based or not ego-based or whatever. If you could just cut it really down to very, very a simple manner and just sort of ask yourself, is this really, positive? Is this really uplifting? Sorry, I said positive there, nearly. Is this really uplifting for me at the moment, or is it not uplifting? And if it's not uplifting, it's about you asking yourself, is this going to be good for me? And they're talking about Thursday as well, which is going into Friday, about being more sure-footed, more grounded within this and within your approach and what you're kind of looking for. It's funny because Friday too, it feels like there's a lot of sort of movement around jobs and employment at the moment. And there's a bit of a change here within that, and people are sort of looking around about what they might want to do. There's quite an energy of sort of transformation in the air as well. And it's that thing too, this goes on to, so just with Friday in relation with grounding, and also, jobs, employment, and are you getting your needs met? They just said as well with that thing. And getting on to Saturday, they're actually saying this for the whole weekend, so for Saturday and for Sunday as well. They're talking about, and this has came up, I can't remember, a little while ago in another weekly video about timing. And it's that thing too about, sometimes in relations, they're talking about employment and also moving into a new direction. Sometimes it's that thing about, really creating a bit of a pathway and sort of, opening things up. But they're saying as soon as you open up the pathway, you don't need to run down it straight away. Sometimes it's that thing about timing, and it's really about allowing yourself to recognize when you're getting that pull or when you're getting drawn to that, and that sort of thing too. And about feeling your way through it. And they're saying, look, even when the path's open sometimes, It doesn't mean that every single thing is going to fall into place. Sometimes that does happen, but they're saying it's not always. Sometimes there are a few hiccups and a few sort of bumps along the way, which are going to create more of a solid foundation, more of a resilience, and more of an opening for you to then to be able to navigate obstacles which may be happening in the future. Further down that path that you're not actually aware of at the moment. But if you've got a little bit of a experience and a little bit of understanding about this, and it was like, oh, so this is sort of similar to what's happened there, and in that case I was able to move through it, I was able to learn from it, I was able to make the best of the situation with this and this and this. So it's that thing too about even when paths are open, sometimes they're saying they're not always straight in that way. So, all right, I think that's it for this week. Nice and yeah, quick and, you know, that sort of thing. We flew through that. So yeah, I just want to thank you all for watching me this week, for joining me and connecting with me. Always good fun to do this. Really nice to be back again and be back working. And if you would like a private session with me, all my details are below, or you can reach me at davidmjohn.com. I've got a website, a Google page, Facebook page. Just Google me and I will pop up there. So yeah, have a beautiful week and lots of love. All right, take care. Bye-bye.